Welcome everybody. If you've been here before, welcome back. And if you are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Dominique, and today I will be guiding you through a yoga and Pilates fusion with a yoga block. So for this practice, we will be using a yoga block. It is up to you if you want to add in any wrist weights or ankle weights. This is a full body flow, so we will be working on the upper body and the lower body. To get started, we will begin in a child's pose. So once you have your block and your mat, you can meet me facing the back of the mat in a child's pose. So it's up to you if you would like your knees wide or closer together. Then you'll sit back on the heels as the arms extend out, and your block will just be off of the side of the mat to start. And we'll take a few moments here to settle in to the present and to bring awareness to the breath. Lengthening the inhales and the exhales. And bringing awareness to how the breath feels in the body. Then notice what you can change to make more space for the breath on the inhales. What can you change to empty the breath more completely on the exhales? A few more moments just like this. And if there's an intention that you would like to set today, I invite you to do so now. Then wherever you are in your breath cycle, empty the breath completely. Together we inhale through the nose. Open mouth, sigh, release. Again, inhale through the nose. Open mouth, sigh, release. Last one, fill up. Exhale, let that go. Seal the lips. Find your natural cadence with the breath. Then begin to lift the hips off the heels as you slide the hands in underneath the shoulders. You're in a cat pose. Press up and away from the mat. Create space all through the back. Then inhale, drop the belly, gaze goes up. Exhale, round through the back. Again, inhale, drop the belly, gaze goes up. Exhale, round through the back. Keep flowing. Make sure there's lots of space and you're lifting up away from the mat. Last one here. And then we'll make our way right into our next pose. So you can release into a neutral position. Grab your block. Block will go a long ways in between the thighs. So you'll squeeze on the block, zip up and in, and then begin to shift your hips forward as you squeeze through the glutes. So there's lots of engagement. So you're squeezing into the glutes and at the same time zipping up through the inner thighs. And then we'll find some push-ups here. So you'll lower down and lift, lower and lift. Keep moving, and it's up to you how wide you would like your hands to be. I'm taking more of a tricep push-up, so my hands are closer towards the midline of my body. Make sure your ribs are knitting in here. Heat starts to build very quickly. We have 3. Last 2. One more. Go ahead and press up, tuck the toes, lift the knees. You're in a plank. Squeeze the glutes, squeeze the blocks, ribs knit in. Neutral neck, we hold for 10. 9, press up and away from the mat. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release the knees down to the earth. You'll go ahead and take the block from in between the thighs, and place it underneath your right hand. So you may have to reposition a little bit so that your hands are underneath your shoulders, and then slightly move back a little bit so there's a little bit of a diagonal and you're not exactly stacked right over your wrists, but a little bit behind. Now, if you've practiced with me before, you know where we're going. You'll begin to bend at the elbows, lower down, and then lift, extend. Bend at the elbows and lower down, lift and extend. Ribs knit in here, so core is still engaged. And by having the right hand on the block, there's a lot more weight in the left arm. So the left tricep is probably already getting fatigued, or at least feeling a lot of heat. We have a few more here. Your right arm is not going to extend all the way as you come up. There'll be more extension through the left. And if you want to make this easier, just lean forward a hair more. We have our last two here. Keep breathing. Last one. You'll press yourself up, extend your left leg back, a little bit of a calf stretch, rock forward and back. And then eventually you'll find stillness, pivot your right leg out and open up into a supported side plank, then extend left arm overhead. Find the stretch, space all through the left side of the rib cage. Then we inhale here through the extension. On the exhale, lift the arm and the leg. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. And it doesn't matter if you want to point the toes or flex through the foot. It's up to you. Keep moving, keep breathing. Just a few more here. Last three. Last two. Last one. Then we all meet in the extension, stretch long, and then we'll lift to the top, hold at the top, little pulse up and up, up and up for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release, find length, then begin to engage your right side obliques and your left side obliques to very slowly lift you up into a gate pose. And you can roll out your right wrist in gate pose. Take a moment here. Then we'll come up to center, arms to a T, and then bend at the elbows, bring the hands behind the head. We inhale here, exhale, twist towards the left. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale to center. Exhale to twist. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Ribs still knit in, lots of engagement through the core here. Active through left leg, blade of left foot presses down onto the floor. Last two. Last one. Then come back to center. We'll find our way back into our extended supported side plank. And then you'll close it out, come back into tabletop. Place the block at the top of the mat And then walk the knees back, shift the hips forward, and very slowly lower yourself down so your front body is on the earth. Now we'll bring the block in so that when you rest your head, your forehead will rest on the block. And then you'll bring a triangle shape with your hands on top of the block. Press the tops of the feet into the mat, squeeze through the glutes, and zip up through the inner thighs. Breathe here. Inhale. And as you exhale, lift the elbows. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. You can stay with this or you can add on with me. You'll inhale, lower. If you're adding on, exhale, lift yourself up. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. So as you're lifting, think space all through the spine. You want to move with muscle. Keep moving, keep breathing here. Keep the glutes engaged. Keep the inner thighs zipping up. So each time you lift, again, think length all through the spine, energy beaming out of the crown of the head, down the spine, out of the tailbone. We have 3 more here. Last 2. Last 1. Then slowly lower yourself down. Hands come on the short sides of the block. Extend the arms in the block forward, forehead to the mat. We keep the engagement in the lower body. Inhale to exhale. Inhale. On your exhale, lift the hands and the feet off the earth. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Keep moving here. Length all through the spine. Just a few more. Last 3. Last 2. Last 1. Then you can go ahead and make a pillow for the forehead with the hands, bend at the knees, and tick-tock the legs left and right. Take a moment, come back to the breath. Lengthen the inhales and exhales. You can even take a round of a cleansing breath if you would like, with an inhale through the nose and an exhale out the mouth. Then slowly release the tops of the feet to the earth. Hands come underneath the shoulders, tuck the toes, press up, plank pose. Hold in your plank. We have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees to the earth. Find your block. Block comes underneath the left hand this time. Right hand is on the mat. Knees are underneath the hips. Knit the ribs in here. And then find that little bit of a diagonal backwards. And then when you're ready, you'll bend through the elbows, lower and lift. Lower and lift. Lower and lift. If you want to make this more difficult, shift the weight back. If you want to make it easier, shift the weight forward. Neutral neck here. We have a few more. Last 3. Last 2. Last one. Press yourself up, extend your right leg back. You can start to floss forward and back as you find the calf stretch. I'm going to spin around so that you can see me for the next movement. So you'll keep your right leg extended back, open up to a side plank, right hand up towards the ceiling, extend long here. And then we lift the arm and the leg and lower. Lift and lower. Keep moving here. You're lifting up and away from the mat, and the same thing, up and away from the block. So your left side obliques are still working here. Keep breathing. Inhale on the extension. Exhale as you lift. Last 3. Last 2. One more. Then we all meet in the extension, blade of foot to the earth, find length, stretch. Then we lift hand and foot. We have the pulse up and up, up and up for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release the foot, hand comes overhead. Then you'll use your obliques to lift you up. Arms start in a T first, then bend through the elbows. Inhale here at the center. Exhale, twist towards the right. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, twist. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Don't forget, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Lots of engagement. You're also pressing your right foot down into the mat. Keep your right leg engaged. We have a few more here. Last 3. Last 2. Last 1. Then we release. Arms come back to a T. Find your way into your supported side plank. Then we cartwheel, bring right hand to the earth, right knee to the earth. Place the block alongside the mat. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, down dog. Pedal out through the feet here, take your time. You can stay with movement or find stillness, your choice. Then eventually we meet in stillness. Exaggerated ripple forward here into a plank. Now this time we lower down onto our bellies from a plank, so bend at the elbows, lower for 3, 2, 1. Untuck the toes. You know where we're going. Grab your block. So you have 2 options here, whether you are keeping your forehead on the block or you're lifting with the extension. If you're going into the extension, we'll start right there. So we have the diamond shape with the hands on the block. Inhale to exhale. Inhale, and as you exhale, lift. Keep the glutes engaged, zip up through the inner thighs. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Length through the spine. Keep moving. Lots of engagement through the lower body. We have our last 3. Last 2. Last 1. Then lower all the way down, hands to the short sides of the block. Extend the block out, forehead to the mat. Squeeze through the glutes, zip up through the inner thighs. Inhale to exhale. Inhale. Exhale, lift hands and feet. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Keep moving here. We're halfway through these. Last 3. Last 2. Last 1 here. Then slowly release the block down. Make a pillow for your forehead. Bend at the knees, windshield wiper the legs left and right. Take a moment, lengthen the inhales and exhales. Then slowly release the tops of the feet to the earth. Hands come underneath the shoulders. Tuck through the toes. On your exhale, press up in your plank. We hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, on 1, we shift back, down dog. Pedal through the feet here. Take a moment, stretch long through the backs of the legs. Then eventually you'll start to walk your feet towards the hands at the top of the mat for a forward fold. You can take your block and place it alongside the mat because we will come to it in just a moment. And then grab opposite elbows, sway left and right. Allow low back to release here. Stretching through the backs of the legs. Then hands come to the earth. Inhale, lift the heels. Exhale, bend through the knees. You're in a toe stand. Come up. Find your balance. Pray your hands to chest. Then open up through the knees and go ahead and sit yourself down. Knees are bent. Feet are planted on the earth. We find our block long ways, press it in between the thighs. So you're gonna squeeze on the block, then hands will come behind you. You can either spin your fingers out the long sides of the mat, or you can spin them in towards your glutes. It just depends on how much of a stretch you would like to find through your shoulders and your biceps, also your forearms, while we're moving through this. You can also start in one position and then move to the next, or you can even find a halfway between both. So we'll inhale here, exhale, press through the heels and a lift. Inhale, lower, tap the glutes, exhale, lift. Inhale, lower, exhale, lift. Keep moving, keep breathing. Zip up through the inner thighs. So there's definitely a squeeze of the block. A few more here. Last 3. Last 2. Last 1. We hold and squeeze at the top. Little pulse up and up, up and up for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower yourself down. Scooch your feet out a little bit. Arms come alongside the body, and we'll move into a roll down. So you'll roll down, gazes down midline. Then once the back is on the earth, arms come overhead. Then tuck the chin to the chest, C curve with the spine. Use your muscle to lift you up. Then go ahead and roll yourself back. There's still engagement through the inner thighs and squeeze on the block. Then you'll lift yourself up very slowly. Keep moving here. Really exaggerate the roll of the spine as you come up and as you roll down. We have a few more of these. Last 3. Last 2. We have one more roll up here. And then bring yourself into a halfway C curve so your total core belt is engaged. Lift your feet off the earth, you're in a boat pose. Hold here and breathe. And knit the ribs in for 5, 4, 3, 2. On 1, we move into a low boat. Inhale, exhale, boat. Low boat, inhale. Exhale, boat. Low boat, inhale. Exhale, boat. Keep moving. Keep breathing. We have 3 more. Last 2. Last 1, we meet in a boat. Hold in your boat for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Feet plant, roll yourself down. Keep the block in between the thighs. Arms come alongside the body. Walk the feet in a little bit so we prepare for a bridge. If you have to shimmy yourself back into the center of the mat, go ahead and do so. Then we press through the heels, roll yourself up vertebrae by vertebrae. And then same way you came up, you'll roll yourself back down. We'll do that again. Press through the heels, roll yourself up vertebrae by vertebrae. Same way you came up, roll yourself right back down. 2 more, just like that. Last 1. Release onto the earth. This time we will keep a neutral pelvis. Make sure your core is engaged. Knit the ribs in and we'll add the arms. So as you press through the heels and lift, arms come overhead, lower down, arms back to the mat. Press through the heels and lift, arms overhead, then lower down, everything to the mat. If you would like to connect the breath, inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Keep moving, keep breathing. Last few here. We have 3. Last 2. Last 1, hold and squeeze at the top. On your exhale, only your hands will come up, so you'll still be in your bridge hold at the top, but this time your fingertips will face towards the ceiling, and then you lower and lift, lower and lift. Small movement, so not quite to the earth. Keep moving. Inner thighs are really burning. We have 5, 4, 3, 2. Last 1. Hold and squeeze at the top, then roll yourself down. Arms come down last. You'll keep the block where it is. Lift your feet off the earth. Now your choice, if you would like to keep your arms out to a T, or if you would like to cactus them as we move into a tick-tock of the knees left and right. So it's not quite a supine twist because our legs are not actually going to meet the earth. They're going to hover, so we still have engagement through our obliques. So we'll start to the left, you'll roll onto your left hip, and then very slowly use the obliques, bring yourself back through center, then over towards the right. So the idea is to keep both shoulder blades planted on the earth. You might have a limited range of motion by keeping both shoulder blades planted on the earth, and that is okay. Over time, as you get the mobility, you'll find a little bit more of a twist and the legs will drop a little bit closer towards the earth. And sometimes it just takes a few reps of these back and forth before your body starts to loosen and let you drop deeper into a twist. We have a few more on each side. Last 3 here. Slow and controlled. Last 2. Last 1. Then we find our way back to center. Feet plant on the earth. Go ahead and grab your block with one of your hands and then place the block alongside the mat. We'll use the block as we go into a supported bridge. So we'll start with our arms alongside the body. Press through the heels, scoop yourself up. Once you find your way at the top of your bridge, take the block on its lowest setting long ways, place it underneath you, and then go ahead and relax onto the block. So your sacrum will be on the block. And then just take a moment here and relax. Start to deepen the inhales and the exhales. And if you would like, you can extend one leg and then the other. If there's any pinching in your low back, bend through the knees and plant the feet. You can even play around with bringing one knee into the chest, and perhaps you hover the lower leg. You can bring the other one in, kind of like a single leg stretch if you would like. So there's lots of flexibility for you here in this pose. So you can keep moving, or you can find stillness, you can find engagement, or you can find a stretch. It's really up to you. We're towards the end of our practice here today. So choose what works best for you. If you're following me in the single leg stretch, we'll keep moving for 3 more on each side. And then our next position that we're going to meet in is a supported waterfall. So if you have your legs extended in your supported bridge, you'll bring the knees back into the chest. If you're in a regular supported bridge, knees into the chest. Knees into the chest is where we all meet. Then you'll extend the legs up towards the ceiling, arms alongside the body, palms into the mat. Then we'll move through scissors here, so you'll lower your right leg. As you lift your right, start to lower your left. Keep moving back and forth. It's okay if you don't have a wide range of motion here. Do what you can. Knit the ribs in. Stretch long through the legs, point through the toes. Make sure the legs are engaged here. We have a few more. Last 3. Last 2. One more, and then we all meet with both legs up towards the ceiling. Then we'll take very small circles. So think feet in straps, like if you were on a reformer or a megaformer. So you'll bring your legs out to a V, bring them in front, and then lift. Out to a V, bring them around and in front, and then lift. Out to a V, around and in front, and lift. Keep the ribs knitting in here, and it's okay if it's a small range of movement. Sometimes the way the block is situated is not the most comfortable, or it just might align you in a way that you only have a limited range of movement, and that is perfectly okay. You can also remove the block if you would like and go into these on the earth. That's also an option. Do what works for you here. We have one more, and then we switch the direction. So this time we lower out, come out and around to the V, bring it in. Lower down, come out and around to the V, bring it in, lower down, come out and around to the V, and bring it in. We have a few more here. Keep moving, keep breathing. Keep the core engaged. Last 3. Last 2. Last 1, and then we all meet with the legs up towards the ceiling. If you've practiced yoga with me before, you know this little trick. I like to come onto the edge of the block so that the flat part of the block is rested on my sacrum, and I'm kind of balancing on the block. That relieves a little bit of tension of the corner of the block pressing into your low back. If that doesn't work for you, you can simply just remove the block or keep it where it was. Then we'll bring the hands up so we're in a sleeping tiger. And then you can start to roll through the wrists and the ankles here if you would like, allowing the blood to flow in the opposite direction than how it usually does throughout the day. And then you can stay here in stillness if you would like, or keep moving. Then eventually the knees will come into the chest. Feet will plant on the earth. If you're on the block, you'll go ahead and remove the block by coming into a bridge, sliding the block out, and making your way back down. We're all in a supine position with the knees bent and the feet planted. Right knee comes into the chest. Give it a squeeze. Then extend your right foot up towards the ceiling, stretch through the back of the leg. Then we bring this into a figure 4 shape, outside right ankle on top of left knee. You can use your right hand to help assist here and open up your right hip. Whenever you are ready, take this into a reclined pigeon pose. You can stay still or rock left and right, your choice. And then if you were really craving a supine twist when we were moving back and forth in that TikTok, this is your opportunity to take it here. So if you would like, you can cross the legs over one another or just stack them, shift the hips to the right, and allow yourself to find your supine twist with the leg packet to the left and the gaze to the right. Just as we did in the TikTok, both shoulder blades will be planted. At this point in the practice, you may have noticed that your breath has started to slow. Continue lengthening the inhales and exhales. A couple more rounds of breath here. And then slowly release. Back to center, both knees into the chest, give them a squeeze, and then make your way into a reclined child's big toes together, knees out wide, and use your hands to pull the legs closer to the body to find a stretch through the inner thighs. Then we'll move on to the other leg. So knees are bent, feet are planted, left knee into the chest, give it a squeeze. Then when you're ready, extend left foot up towards the ceiling, stretch through the back of your left leg. Eventually you come into a figure 4 outside left ankle. On top of your right leg, you can use your left hand to assist here as you open up through your left hip. And at some point, you'll make your way into your reclined pigeon pose with the interlace of the hands behind your right leg. You can stay still or rock forward and back. And just as we did on the other side, we will make our way into a supine twist. So if the block is next to you, go ahead and move the block out of the way. And then you can either stack the legs or cross them as you shift the hips to the left, and then allow the leg packet to fold to the right, gazes to the left, both shoulder blades are planted. Deep inhales and exhales here. One more full round of breath. Then slowly release your supine twist. We find another reclined child's pose, big toes together. Extend the legs out wide. This time you can keep your legs separated if that helps you find a deeper stretch in your inner thighs. We did a lot of inner thigh work today, so take your time. And you can even take this into a happy baby if you would like. Whatever stretch feels best for you. Another couple of rounds of breath. Then eventually the knees come into the chest and you'll start to rock and roll forward and back to come up into a seated position. Once you are in your seated position, we'll find a simple seated twist. Inhale the arms overhead. As you exhale, twist towards the right. Left hand to right knee, gaze beyond right shoulder. Keep your left hand where it is. As you release the twist, you'll dome through the back, right hand to left knee, round. Then keep your right hand where it is, release your left hand and twist over to the opposite direction. Gaze beyond left shoulder. Then as you release the twist, right hand stays where it is, left arm crosses in front of the right for right knee. Dome through the back, round here. And then release. You're in a simple seat. Prayer, hands to chest, thumbs press into the heart space. Thank you so much for tuning in with me for this fusion flow. If you enjoyed, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. I will see you next time. Thank you.